Good morning, students. Hope all are doing well. All are doing according to your timetable. All are fine, I think. And stay home and stay safe. Okay. So we were dealing with the chapter 9, that is the strategies in the enhancement of food production. And we had seen one video related to that where we discussed about the dairy farming, then about the poultry farming, then the beekeeping and the fisheries. Okay, so today we are going to study about the different concepts that is coming under animal breeding. Even though we have started with animal breeding, but what are the different things that is coming under animal breeding? How the animals has to breed? In which strategy we are taking for the breeding of the animals? All these things we are going to discuss today. Okay, so let's come to the topic, that is the animal breeding. First of all, tell me, what is the need of breeding animals? In the first video, we described that India is an agriculture country and we are depending, our economy is mainly on the agricultural production. Okay, and we are keeping many rules and regulations for the animal breeding so that the productivity as well as the yield of the products that we get from the animals can be increased. Okay, so that is the aim of the animal breeding. So let's see what's the aim of the animal breeding. I've given you some pictures here that is showing the animals that we have bred through the different techniques like inbreeding, outbreeding, outcrossing, interspecific hybridization, like that. Okay, so what are the aims of the animal breeding? The first aim of the animal breeding is that they increases the quantity of the yield. Okay, and the second one is that improving the quality of the produce. So these are the aims that we are keeping in mind when we are doing the process of animal breeding. Now, the animal breeding, we are going to divide the animal breeding into two steps. The one is called as the outbreeding and the other one is called as the inbreeding. And the name itself is clear. One is outbreeding. Out means the breeding between unrelated group. And what do you mean by inbreeding? Breeding between the related groups. Okay, so the breeding, animal breeding is dividing into two. One is called as the inbreeding and the other one is called as the outbreeding. Okay, now inbreeding is again dividing. We are dividing the inbreeding again into three groups. The first one is called as the outcrossing. We will deal all these things. Second one is called as the crossbreeding and the third one is called as the interspecific hybridization. Okay, so this is the chart. This chart you have to draw in your copy, that will help you. What is the connection between these things? Okay, so breeding, it's divided into two. One is inbreeding and the other one is outbreeding. Now, outbreeding is again divided into three. That is outcrossing, then crossbreeding and interspecific hybridization. Clear? Now, we have to deal each and every heading in a separate way with the help of the examples. Okay, so let's go to the first one, that is the inbreeding. So, what is inbreeding? Inbreeding means that is a breeding between the animals of the same breeds. Okay, that's why the word is called a inside. Okay, so the breeding between the animals of the same breeds, they are called as inbreeding. And outbreeding means, again I told you the word out mean the crosses between the different breeds. So that is a main difference that we can note here. This is of the same breed and outbreeding is of the different breed. And you can mention this difference in your copy. What is the difference? Your question is, what is the difference between inbreeding and outbreeding? Explain with at least 3 points. Okay, so let's see the differences. The first one, the method of mating of more closely related individual between the animals of the same breed for 4 to 6 generations. So the word has come here, that is the same breed. And how long they can do the inbreeding? They can do at least for 4 to 6 generations. And if you are inbreeding for this much time, then what is the product obtained? The product obtained is called as a pure line. Pure line means, what do you mean by the word pure line? Whatever we are expecting, whatever qualities we are expecting, you will get the same gene because we are doing repeatedly inbreeding. So if any false gene are there or any low quality genes are there, it can be removed after doing this much time of the inbreeding. But you have to note it has to go only up to maximum of 5 or 6 inbreeding. Otherwise, what will happen? We will deal with later. Okay, so that is called as an inbreeding. Now, let's see the same thing of the outbreeding. The mating of unrelated. So, here we describe related. Here it is unrelated. And there is no common ancestors for about 4 to 6 generation. Okay, so it is not the same breed and they are having no common ancestors at least up to the 4 to 6 generation. Clear? Now, mating is between same species, mating is between different species. Then, what is the advantage? It increases homozygosity. Homozygosity means the same type of genes, so it can be used for the development of pure line. But what about the outbreeding? It will lead to the production of hybrids. Hybrids means new variety. Okay, and that new variety will contain the desirable characters of both the parents. Just example I am giving, like if one of the breed is having a good lactation capacity, lactation means milk production capacity, and other one with a good meat quality. Okay, so what we are doing, we are having outbreeding techniques, we are using outbreeding techniques, and the progeny, the next generation progeny will have both the qualities in them. That's why we are calling it as hybrid. But what about the inbreeding? What quality we have been incorporated into that male and female, the same quality you will get in the next generation. That's why we are calling it as homozygous, the same. Okay, but here in outbreeding, what we are expecting the hybrid that can assemble the characters of the male as well as the female. Okay, so that is the difference between inbreeding and outbreeding. Again, you can write this difference in your copy. Normally used to come for your exams, board exams and all. So you can write this in your copy. What is the difference between inbreeding and the outbreeding? Clear? I think it's clear for everyone. And there are 3 points there. You can note down the 3 points. Now, what is happening here in the inbreeding? We are selecting the superior males and female. Okay, and of course, it belongs to the same breed. And they have been undergoing mating. They have been undergoing fertilization. And the superior males and female of their progeny are identified for further marriage. So first we are taking one superior male and one superior female. Then we are doing the crossing. Okay, and the progeny will be assessed again, and out of all the progeny, you might be getting 4-5 progeny. Out of all the progeny, again you will check for which one is a superior male and which one is a superior female. Again they are mating. Clear? And if you are doing like this, and we will get only the superior qualities in the upcoming generation, and this will increase the homozygosity, and even it will result in the prediction of the pure line. So if any recessive alleles are there, because one will be dominant and other will be recessive. So if any recessive alleles have been hidden in their genes, so that can be eliminated by this method. Clear? And by this method, we can accumulate the superior genes. But this is having one disadvantage, that is called as the inbreeding depression. Because after breeding for 4 to 6 generation, they have a natural tendency that to stop, to decrease the productivity or decrease the yield. Like what normally we say, getting bored. Okay, getting bored, their genes are getting bored, so they will decrease their productivity. So that is one disadvantage. So that means you have to limit up to 5 or 6 generation. After that, you should not go with the inbreeding. In between, what you have to do, you have to do outbreeding. Okay, so that again one new set of genes will come into that, then we can go with again the inbreeding. Clear? So inbreeding we are doing continuously for 4 to 6 generation. We are getting pure line, and after this 5 or 6 generation, they suffer, they face some phenomena, and that phenomena is called as the inbreeding depression. And because of this inbreeding depression, their productivity, the yield that what we are expecting from them will get reduced. So what is the best option? How we can overcome with this situation? We can overcome these situations by doing the outbreeding process. Okay, so you have to learn this one, even though all the good qualities have been given here, but only one thing we have to take care is that it's only up to 5 to 6 generation. After that, we have to stop the process of inbreeding, and we can go with the outbreeding at least for 1 or 2 times, so that the new genes will come into them, and we can again start producing the pure line, so that we can avoid the inbreeding depression. Okay. So this is a normal breeding we are showing here. It's an inbreeding, that is a mother and father, and it's a regular breeding. And the daughter and the father, again, they are undergoing inbreeding, and the inbreeding puppies are there. Okay. So this is how the inbreeding of the same breed. We already told that it's of the same breed. So what we expect, the breed that is coming at the end. So this inbreed puppies, they all look similar. Okay. So that's why it's called as the inbreeding product. Now, what do you mean by inbreeding depression? I already explained to you. So, continuous inbreeding. How many generation I told? 5 to 6 generation. Maximum limit is 6 generation. What can happen after doing the inbreeding? It reduces the fertility and even the productivity. And this phenomena is called as inbreeding depression. Okay, so when that progeny, they suffer from the inbreeding depression, I told you what you have to do. You have to do outbreeding. That means you have to cross that animal with a unrelated superior animal of the same breed. Okay, you have to cross with unrelated but of the same breed, and then after that they can restore their productivity and even the yield. I think it's clear for you what is inbreeding depression and how can we overcome. Okay, how can we overcome the inbreeding depression and what is the cause of the inbreeding depression? So you have to answer these three questions. What is the cause of inbreeding depression and what is the phenomena of inbreeding depression and how can we overcome the inbreeding depression? Clear? Can we pass to the next topic? So there is a video for you just to give an introduction how the inbreeding is carried in different animals. Watch it carefully. It's a very good video. If you are not able to understand with this explanation, but this video will enhance your knowledge. Okay, so let's start watching this video.
Animal breeding is the controlled propagation of animals to achieve desirable qualities of farm animals and increase the yield of these animals. The term breed refers to a group of animals within a species related by ancestors and possessing many similar characters such as appearance, behavior, and size. For example, Jersey and Leghorn are very popular breeds of cattle and chicken used for breeding.
These are familiar names for us, Jersey and Leghorn.
Into two main categories.
Again, they are repeating like what is animal breeding and what are the two types of animal breeding. One is inbreeding and other one is outbreeding. So what is the main thing in inbreeding? It's having a common ancestor. And what is outbreeding? They are having different ancestors. See the two things. Breed 1, breed 2. They have different ancestors.
But with different ancestors or between different species.
Or it can be between two different species.
Animals selected for inbreeding are of superior quality.
So we told it's a superior male and the superior female. And they are doing this inbreeding for at least 4 to 6 generations. And after getting the progeny, okay, that's why we are calling it as superior offspring.
Subsequently, mating is carried out between offspring which have superior.
Again, in between the offspring, the superior male and female is again undergoing the inbreeding. And finally, the homozygosity will be increased and we are getting the pure lines. Pure lines means there is no other undesirable characters.
This is similar to Mendel's experiment that yielded homozygous pure lines in pea plants. Inbreeding also helps in the expression of desirable characters and the elimination of.
So what is the advantage of inbreeding? Expressing desirable characters and eliminating the undesirable characters.
Expression of recessive genes which are harmful. If inbreeding among closely related breeds is continued, it can result in inbreeding depression, which is reduced fertility and productivity.
Okay, clear, I think. Clear? So from this video, they are showing how the inbreeding has been taking place and what is the disadvantage of inbreeding that we have seen, that is the inbreeding depression. Okay, and how we can overcome the inbreeding depression. Now, the next one is outbreeding. So we have seen the difference between inbreeding and outbreeding. So in outbreeding, it's related, unrelated animals. Okay, unrelated animals which may be between the individuals of the same breed, having no common ancestors for 4 to 6 generation. And that outbreeding is called as the outcrossing. And or between the different breeds, that is called as a crossbreeding, or between different species, that is called as interspecific hybridization. So what we can infer from this, outbreeding is again divided into three. First one is outcrossing, that is the breed, same breed, but they don't have any common ancestors for at least 4 to 6 generation. Okay, and crossbreeding, different breed. Okay, and interspecific means interspecific, in between. Okay, on different species, in between different species. I think it's clear. So outcrossing, same breed but no common ancestor. Crossbreeding, different breeds. Outcrossing, it was same breed, but crossbreeding, it is cross, something with different. Okay, so that is different breed. And interspecific hybridization means between different species. Okay, one species with the another species. Species is again different. Okay, so the outbreeding is divided into outcrossing, crossbreeding, and interspecific hybridization. Now let's watch one by one. What do you mean by outcrossing? Already we told it's the crossing between the same breed, but they should not have any common ancestors for 4 to 6 generation. Outcrossing, the same thing. The animals of the same breed, you please learn, even though minor differences are there, but you have to learn these words. It can come for define. Okay, so animals of the same breed, but they don't have any common ancestors for at least 4 to 6 generation. And what is the advantage of outcrossing? It can overcome the inbreeding depression. So that time we told how we can resolve this problem of inbreeding depression, that we can do the outcrossing. Okay, so if you do the outcrossing, we can stop the phenomena of inbreeding depression. Clear? This word is clear? Outcrossing. Now, the next one is crossbreeding, what we told, different breeds. So, superior males of one breed is mated with the superior females of another breed. And the desirable qualities of two different breeds are combined. Okay, so you are selecting superior male of one breed and the superior female of other breed. And these two are getting crossed, and these superior qualities will be developing in the progeny. Clear? So that is the difference in the cross breeding. This is different breeds. That one was the outcrossing was same breed but without any common ancestor. I'm repeating it again and again because you should understand. Might be you will think that, okay, what is the difference? It's only a minor difference, but you have to understand that's a major difference. According to the animal breeding, it's a major difference because one is of same breed and other is of the different breed. Clear? So this is an example given here. This is a variety. Okay, this is a variety called Bikaniri eaves. This is Bikaniri eaves, and the other one is Merino rams. So we are crossing these two breeds. These are the two different breeds. Okay, and we are getting a new breed called as a Hizardale. Hizardale. So you can see why we are crossing a sheep, because of for getting a good quality of the that wool that we get extract from the sheep. Okay, so this is a crossing that we are showing here. Even in your NCRT book, this example is there. That is a new breed of the sheep. This is called as Hizardale, and that has been developed by crossing Bikaniri eaves and in the Merino rams. Okay. Now the next one, so outcrossing and outbreeding is over. Now the next one is interspecific hybridization. Interspecific matlab two different species. Okay, from seeing the this example itself, it will come to your mind. That is, I have given the picture of a horse here, entirely different to a donkey. Okay, and they have been crossed, and you are getting a different product, that is the mule. Might be you have seen all these things. Horses are normally famous for their power, for their energy, and donkeys are mainly having their strength for working. So they combine these two qualities. Okay, they combined these two qualities and they got a product, and the name of the product they have given is the mule. So this mule having the characteristics of both the donkey as well as the horse. If you have seen mule, you will be easy to identify because their tail looks like a horse, but sometimes their body is having a look of a donkey. So it's not a donkey, it's a mule. Okay, and they are sterile. They cannot reproduce by themselves. They are sterile. Again, you have to do interspecific hybridization. So it's a male donkey and a female horse. Understand? So the species of the donkey, that is a male donkey, and the female is the horse. And we are crossing these two different species and we are getting the mule. Okay, so that is interspecific hybridization. Male and female animals of two different species have been crossed and it will combine the characters of both the parents. And here is an example. We are taking a horse, it's a female horse, and we are taking a male donkey. Both have been crossed and finally we are getting the mule. This is an example of interspecific hybridization. So we can do the control breeding experiments for both these things, like inbreeding and outbreeding. We can do control breeding experiments. Now, how we are doing control breeding experiments? Artificial insemination. This is done with the help of the artificial insemination. This word, they contain the word artificial. Okay, and another word is seminate. Insemination means semen. We are collecting the semen from the male partner of any of the breeds and we are injecting them into the female. And this process is called as artificial insemination, but there are lots of drawbacks for this process. Okay. So artificial insemination, we are collecting, you can read, we are collecting the semen of the male and we are injecting to the reproductive tract of the female. And this semen, either it can be used immediately in that purpose only, and even it can be stored, it can be frozen for the future use. You know, liquid nitrogen, so the sperms can be, yeah, the semen that contain the sperms, they can be stored for the future purposes also, because you know that the animals cannot be transported from one country, yeah, one continent to the another continent. So what's the best option we are having? We can preserve, yeah, we can frozen the sperm or the egg and they can be carried to one country to the another country and we can develop that breeds in the other countries. Okay, so this is a best example how we can do the how we can conserve, how we can preserve this good qualities of the egg as well as good qualities of the sperms. So artificial insemination. Okay. So to overcome these drawbacks, every time it was not successful in doing the artificial insemination. So the best thing they have done to overcome these failures of the artificial insemination is the other one, that is called as a multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology. This is very important part for you, and it is also called as MOET. M stands for multiple, O stands for ovulation, E stands for embryo, and 3 the transfer, yeah, technology. The word itself, if you understand the meaning, the word itself is clear. Multiple ovulation, the ovulation normally takes place in the female and a single ovulation, but here we are giving them hormones like follicle stimulating hormones to a female cow, and we are helping in the production of more number of the eggs. Okay, and when it forms the embryo, after the fertilization it forms the embryo, and that embryo, how many embryos will it? Say single embryo or more embryo? If it is multiple ovum, there will be more embryos. If there are 5 ovum and the sperms are getting fertilizing the 5 ovum, so how many embryos will be there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 embryos will be there. Okay, and these embryos after started developing in the embryonal state, in a particular stage, there are different stages in the development of the embryo. That is, when it reaches the 8 to 32 stage in the embryo, they can take that embryo and it can be given to the another cows. And what will happen? And this embryo will be developing in the another cow. So that cow will act as a surrogate mother. It's not a biological mother, because biological mother, the purpose was to have the multiple ovulation and the embryo got developed. Now that embryo can be taken out from that mother and it can be input, it can be given into another 5 cows. Now we calculated 5 embryos now, so we are taking 5 different cows and we are incorporating that embryos into the uterus of that cow. Okay, so the 5 cows are ready for taking out the embryos from the biological mother. And now these mothers act as the surrogate mother. All the development will take place in the mother and they give birth to the child. And what happened to the biological mother? This biological mother is actually the superior mother because they can have the multiple ovulation. We are preparing that mother for the multiple ovulation. So this mother will again be ready for the next process of the ovulation. Okay, so this is actually a business. Of course, we know that it's a business mind because it's not any natural method. We are doing everything in an artificial way, and it's mainly for the production of more amount of milk and even the meat production. Okay, so that is coming under the multiple ovulation transfer technology. Normally, we call it as MOET. I think it's clear for you. I'll explain you once again. So the cow, that is a female, that is administered with the FSH. What is FSH? Follicle stimulating hormone. And if this follicle stimulating hormone has been administered, they will undergo ovulation, multiple ovulation. Okay. And at the end of the ovulation, they produce 6 to 8 ova per cycle. Clear? So once they are getting administered with this FSH, they start producing, instead of one egg, they produce 6 to 8 eggs. Ova means egg. Then mating of the same cow with a selected bull, a superior bull we are selecting, and we are mating them either in a normal way or artificially inseminated. Now the egg will get fertilized. After the insemination process, the egg will get fertilized, and when it reaches the 8 to 32 cell stage, they have been recovered. Recovered matlab we are taking them from the mother and transfer that fertilized egg, transfer that embryo to the surrogate mothers. So here, if it is 8 ova, 8 eggs, so we are getting 8 embryo. Okay, and we are recovering that 8 embryos in the stage of 8 to 32 cell. And we are preparing another 8 cows and we are transferring this into that surrogate mother. So how many cows we will get? We will get 8 cows because we have transferred 8 embryos, so we will get the 8 cows. So this method is called as the multiple ovulation embryo transfer. So you can see in a single step we are getting the 5 different progeny. Okay, 5 progeny, yeah, 8 progeny. How many eggs have been produced? Accordingly we will get the number of the progeny. Clear? So let's watch this video. Video is very interesting. From this video we can see that how the multiple ovulation technique has been carried out. Let's watch.
Artificial insemination is one such method.
So we described. So artificial insemination is carried out. So here the semen has been collected from the superior male. Okay, that is the first step. And we are administering that semen into the reproductive tract, the vagina of the female cow.
Or can be frozen for future use.
Okay, or it can be frozen for the future purpose, so that it can be transported from one country to the another. Can you see we can't take a cow from one place to another. What we can take? We can take either the egg or the sperm.
However, the success of animal breeding using artificial insemination is low.
Okay, so what is the disadvantage? The artificial insemination, the success rate is very low. So what is the solution we have? We have the multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology, that is called as MOET. So here we are going to administer with the FSH. Okay, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. This is a superior cow. And it will lead to the super ovulation. Means a large number of eggs has been produced here. Can you see the egg? This is the super ovulation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eggs have been produced here. And they will undergo the fertilization. Okay, a superior male we are taking either normally fertilization, otherwise we will do the artificial insemination. So it's a picture of fertilization. So again 6 embryos are getting formed. So this is the, can you see the number of cells inside? So it is in the 32 cell stage, yeah, 8 to 32 cell stage. That time it has been transferred into the other mothers. They are called as the surrogate mothers. Clear?
Now, the female animal can be used for
And the original mother, that is a biological mother, they have been getting ready for
In
the
this
other
method,
process of super ovulation.
MOET helps increase the herd
Okay,
population
so we
by
can see
triggering
that it is a
follicle
main
activation in a
application is
short
that
space of
herd
time.
population. So see, within once we are getting at least 1, 2, 3, 4,
MOET
5.
is widely carried out in animals such as cattle,
Okay, and this is mainly used for the
buffaloes,
cattle and buffalo and the
and
sheep.
sheep.
Okay, and the main application is to
So,
increase
increased
the
yields such
herd
as
size.
artificial
I think it's clear. The video is very clear for you how they are conducting the MOET, artificial insemination. Normally we can do, but there are lots of the success rate is low when we compare with the MOET. So the best option we are having is the MOET program, in which it helps to increase the herd size. Okay, the result is that how many eggs have been produced and that much embryo will be there, and this embryo we can transfer it into the surrogate mothers. So the end result is that we are getting a lots of number of the cattle, yeah, buffalo we are taking, otherwise sheep. I think it's clear for everyone. So that is all for this part, that is inbreeding and outbreeding. Okay, and inbreeding it's good, but one of the disadvantage is that after 5 to 6 generation they face from the inbreeding depression. Okay, and the next one is outbreeding. It is again divided into outcrossing, outbreeding, and interspecific hybridization. And normally when we do about inbreeding and outbreeding, we do the artificial insemination when we talk about the animals. Okay, and in artificial insemination the success rate is low, so the best option we are having is MOET program, that is multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology, where we can help to increase the size of the herd, and this is mainly applicable for the cows, buffaloes, as well as the sheep. Okay, so I think this topic is very clear for you. Everyone go through this topic along with your NCRT book. Everything is given in your NCRT book also, and I explained all the parts, and that video is really helpful for you to clear all your doubts. Thank you, students. Go through your chapters.